So are you able? There are some problem also occurring side by side. Okay, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Oh, it's clear. Then okay, no problem. So today's topic is biomaterials. Okay, so it's also materials, but it's going to work with the biological samples or places. And as you can see in your human body, where we are putting and how we are placing the biological materials inside the body is shown over here. One, we are just putting, if you take the contact lens and mouth, we are just putting on the surface of the skin or outer layer. Okay, and if you see the other hand, knee or finger joint implants, we are putting inside our body, including the hip replacement. Okay, and you can see some other things are catheters and stents also we are using sometimes. Okay, the hearing aid which you are putting inside your ear, that also going to be an biomaterials only. Okay, and you can see bioimplants dental, most probably nearly out of 10 we'll 3 4 maybe have the experience by reply with dental implants, using the dental implants. Most probably some may be replace their teeth by using zirconia or metallic, or some may be having this teeth covers. Okay, and now I strongly believe that most of them is going to throw their specs away by putting the contact lens. So we are all having the good experience with the biomaterials day to day life, as like other materials we are using, whether directly or indirectly we are using biomaterials. Okay, so don't say that we don't know anything about biomaterials. I don't know about the other parts, but contact lens and mouth bracelet and hearing aids, most probably we are using. Rarely if you see one or two guys maybe have their fractured hand or leg, they may use steel plates or some other plates inside that body. It's very rare case. For class maybe one or two students. So what are biomaterials? And definition, if you going for standard definition, a biomaterial intended to interface with biological system to evaluate, treat, augment, or replaced by any tissues, organ, or function of the body. Okay, this is not a simple definition. This is developed by year, because in the olden days, what we did in, if you are seeing the Socrates and other times in the Greece, and they want to transport the blood from one body to another body, and some of them is getting live and most of them is died. So that time only they wake up and they just testing about, started the testing about the bloods, because everything is in red in color, but some of them is getting healed, but some of them is going to die. So they found out that bloods having 5 6 categories of groups: A, B, A plus, A negative, O, etc., etc. So that is the time humans are working about biomaterial. They started back about the biomaterials, and they have focused on the medical field. They started correlate with the materials to biomaterials field. They started introducing the materials with biomaterials field. Okay, initially, as like told, they have no idea how to utilize, how to choose the material for particular applications. Randomly they have chosen by their notes, they are identifying which one is good, which one is bad, which one is giving best performance, etc., etc. Later only they have got idea. Okay, so what are the materials, categorization, their functions, etc., etc. Okay, so here you can see the second definition: without adversely affecting the living organism. Yes, that is a main property right now we are focusing. Okay, now biomaterial, the simple example of biomaterial should be like this only. We have cells, living cells, and we are going to use the biomaterials, and it's going to develop their colonies over the biomaterials. Then we are going to place the biomaterials inside our body, so that the remaining cell which is planned over here will be easily adjust or easily coherent with the body materials, and they will support our body for function 24 into 7 function. And this is the current trend or current technology what we are using. Okay, and there is one more scientist, I'll tell you, I'll talk about the scientist in upcoming slides. He is the best one in India. Okay, and we will talk about why he was best, from where he learned those technologies, that we will talk. Okay, and this is the current technology. Previously we are not doing this type of technology. We just, if you have, say example, if your leg was fractured, if you are replacing this as a bone with steel plate, we will not do like this. Okay, we will purchase the steel rods and they will do some test. After that they will go for shaping. After that they will place inside your body. But this is the current technology we will. Okay, so broad classification. And as like other classifications, we have two major categories. One is natural biomaterials, another one is synthetic biomaterials. In the teeth, the what you are using as zirconium teeth or stainless steel teeth or golden teeth, if you are using, and that is called synthetic. Okay, and normal one is silk, fiber, etc. Okay, but in the thing is, normal one means it will not long last for long days. Okay, it will it have some a lifetime which is very very shorter than the synthetic one. Okay, but 100 percentage it can be adjust with our body or our body temperature, working condition, etc. Okay, but in synthetic there is a chance of producing allergic effect. Okay, we are going to use alumina, not aluminum. Remember, in olden days they have used aluminum and they found that they are going to produce toxicity. Okay, aluminum oxides and other things are going to produce with the tissue as well as when they contact with blood. So there we are not using aluminum, we are using alumina. Remember, and here something is missing, that is ceramics and polymer only they have given. And metallic materials also we are using, and you know that metallic materials like stainless steel, nickel, and not a nickel, nitinol, and titanium materials are using. So that classification is missed over here. Here they placed only polymer as well as ceramic, but metallic biomaterials also implemented and used in this field. Okay. So classification of the biomaterial. One more thing, previous classification metal field is missed. So we are implemented this one, metal as well as semiconductor materials, and this is used as biosensor and etc. And that will come for third generations, and we will see a little bit about that one also. Okay, so normally we have polymers, ceramics, metals, and the new one is the semiconductor materials. Okay, recent trends developed by the scientist. Okay, and we will see a particular topic for about smart materials. That time we may talk about semi biosensor and other thing, how it's going to work. Okay, even the small changes in the temperature as well as the small changes in the current, what type of outputs they're going to give, how we are using that as a biosensor, that we will see under the topic of smart materials. History. So unlike other materials, it was developed by over by year. Still we are not fulfilled the third generation. Still people are working. Okay, the first generation is bio inertness. Let me take some material, put it inside the body, it should not produce toxicity. That is their first activity. So they have used some gold and other materials, steels. Okay, second one is the bioactivity. If you are putting some materials inside our body or a living tissue or organism, we should support and we should able to carry out some functions. That best example, say heart valves, we are using some valves, right? So that artificial valves is the best example for second generations. Third generation is regenerate functional tissue. That's what I'm shown in the figure. We are taking some biomaterials, and we are putting the tissues on it. So the tissues will start to grow on that surface of the material. They produce some colonies. After that, they started their own function. Okay, they will protect the biomaterials. As long as they grow enough, we will not feel that we are placing the biomaterial inside our body. Okay, so these are all the things. But 2020 also we are still developing the third generation materials. As just now we have seen that we are going to make biosensor by using semiconductor materials. The invention of say shape memory alloys and etc. It's helping the scientists to do more. And processing techniques also, every day we are inventing new processing techniques. So they are you replacing the conventional with new processing techniques to check their properties and their functional, etc etc. So the third generation is not fulfilled, still it's going. Progress and researches are still it's going. So first generation bioindustrial as equal so steel, gold, etc. They are used to for bone replacement. It's not going to perform any duty instead of the bone. It's going to occupy that space. That's it. So glass is another body parts. If you see the Pirates of Caribbean and these things, you can see the body parts are replaced by wood, glass, etc. They may be used. Okay, so it's a ad hoc implants only. It's going to use it for temporary lifespan, not for much more life. So nowadays also people will ask if you are having more money, you can purchase the or you can made the teeth replacement of teeth or the cap which is going to cover the top side of the teeth, maybe built with zirconia. Otherwise you may go for steel. Steel is low cost, but the aesthetic look is not good, something different, oddly it will give the appearance. But if you have the zirconium output, okay, it will be very nice. It will looks like as like a normal teeth. A function also it will do the same thing, but thing is you have to wait for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. After that it is fully settled means you can use your own teeth as like as a normal one. Okay, so that's it. So most success were accidental rather than by the design. Okay, that's what I'm telling. They are not going to design anything. They are just trial and error. They are utilizing because it was developed in the previous Greece, Egypt. That time also they have utilized because they are not big scientists and they are making the trial and error method only. So second one is bioactivity. So we need it's a mid of 19 we have developed this type of bioactivity materials. And the thing is I have told heart valves and pacemakers which going to do some activities. Okay, sometimes for functioning this material this valves and other things we need to give some power supplies, the battery or some other devices which maybe take the heat from the body and started activating the power or releasing the power so that it can work continuously. That is a big success which is seen in the 19 mid of 19th century. But that also going to be failure because we cannot go with long time, maybe 1 or 2 year or 5 years maybe extend. After that you should go for replacement of those parts. So people are thinking about next generations how we going to make permanent materials. That's it. So we use some advances in the material science, yes, because we are going to choose what material we can put. And we are going scientists are sitting and they're going to write down the number of criteria like what about the corrosion, what about the wear, what about the biocompatibility, etc. They are thinking. After that only it was designed and it was fabricated by using the latest technology. And they are also started talking about the densities, etc, how closely it is matching with the existing materials or existing functional materials which is placed in the body. Okay, yeah. So here you can see the stress strain curve for various materials. One is the stainless steel, ethanol, and also bone. So someone please tell which material you will choose for the replacement of bone. Anyone, open to you all only. Someone choose. We have two materials except bone. We have two material. You have to choose any one material for the replacement of bone.
Sir, we will choose Nitinol, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Why?
Sir, because it can undo the strain, sir. Means if we
Okay.
apply stress, then it can reverse the strain we get,
Okay.
sir. That's why.
Okay. So any other reason?
Sir, I think because the curve resembles the curve of bone.
Hmm.
So probably that's why.
Mm, yeah. So that is the thing I want to get it from your side because nowadays only people are putting so much of intense research, okay, to bring a new material that is called a third generation. I told you still it is in the development and you can see the best material what way he found is nitinol. It's also having some deviations nearly 2%. If you want to replace your bone, you have to replace with some material which is close to the bone. The behavior should be close to the bone. So they have conducted previously we are using stainless steel and titanium etc. We are focusing only one point, that is it should be bio inerts. It should not produce any toxicity. It should be coincident with our body and the fluids like blood etc, hormones etc. So that only we are focusing. But nowadays only people are thinking how it is possible to make or reproduce the bone by using a similar kind of materials. Some cements also nowadays we are using to construct the bone, reconstructing the bone or joining the bone if it is broken into 4 or 5 pieces. Okay, so nitinol is the best material, and we know that it will have a shape memory alloy. It's contained under shape memory alloys, and it can be come back to its original position after removing the load. And you know that. Okay, so they have conducted a stress strain curve for various material. They finally they found out nitinol is the best one. So nowadays we are going to replace with nitinol, and still if you want you can go with stainless steel, but the recent advanced material is nitinol. Okay, and this stress strain curves you have to implement if you are going to answer the biomaterials questions. Okay, you have to choose, and if you are same the graph you can use it for shape memory alloys also if you are talking about nitinol, and this will give the clear cut idea why nitinol is chosen for bone replacement. Okay, and this is third generation. Okay, so third generation is regenerative. It should able to regenerate the tissues over the implant, so that implant will be easily merged with the tissues or living organisms, etc., etc. Okay, so this is the concept we already seen. So biomaterials, we are going to put the tissues. So tissues going to occupy the surface, and they start going to produce their own colony. After you know that what is the principle, how the tissues are going to be multiply and they're going to occupy. So once it is successfully over and it's going to place inside our body, and we can do our regular activity without any allergic or any other feeling. Okay, so this type of tissue culturing is nowadays is famous, and we have a good biological no, biomaterial lab at NIT Trichy, as well as CSIR lab Sikri, which is in Karakudi, which is in Tamil Nadu only, nearby Trichy. And there was one scientist, I forget the name, but he is the best scientist, and who is came from Japan. Okay, and we will see who is the master. Okay, so these are all the latest advantages, the advanced technologies, sorry, advanced technologies which is used to here. So porous media, microsphere, and everything we have placing, and we are going to make the materials using 3D printing also. Later, those things are placed inside our body, and it's going to support the tissues and the gaps. Microforers means the gaps will be the best place where we can put the tissues, so that they can start functioning, or they can start growing on the space, and they're going to give support. Okay, so advances in biomaterials technology. So we have a 3D growth tissues, biosensor, or we will see about smart devices when we the topic is coming, we will see. Okay, biohybrid organisms, yes, including the bioactivity and etc., we will place inside, and it will become biohybrid. And cell immunoisolation, that is going to come under the category of tissue, and how we are planting the tissue and how it's going to give the immuno activities. Okay, and latest technology are still processing with the new processing techniques, how we can do it very simple way instead of conventional way, and how much efficiency we can take with those technologies only people are working now. Just now how we seen that how people are using the shape memory alloys, but the replacement of bone. Similarly, we are going to develop new materials, and not only the development of new materials and alloys in the aspect in the view of design and functional aspect also, people are working. They are closely monitoring the materials with new processing technologies. Okay, now applications, and lot of applications, as you can see, hip and bone replacements, they are always using hard walls, well known one. Okay, and the dental implants is a very easy to memorize or understanding the concept, where we are using, how we are using, how it's functioning. Okay, so need of biomaterials. So whether the humans may be born with some problem, otherwise artificially you can get some problems. That means teeth cavities are producing accidentally, Okay, and some peoples will be born with some problems like heart valve problem or lungs. They may be problem with lungs, or they may be come with less bone strength, or bone may be very weak. So that type of problem also going to be addressed by the biomaterials sometimes. And voluntarily some accidents may be happen by driving the car or vehicle, any other vehicles. That times bones or your face bones, anything going to be damaged severely, that also going to be fixed by using the biomaterials. So, and this is the need for development of biomaterials in normal life, human life. Okay, you cannot skip anything. Okay, maybe that's what at the beginning I was saying. Sometimes you may be need to replace your bone. Sometimes you may need to replace your dental devices, etc. Okay, so material selection. So first, you have to talk about its mechanical properties. The stress strain curve just now we have seen, but till now people not worried about the stress strain curve as a mechanical property. In the olden days, if you see the first generation material, they have used gold. Even they used wood. Okay, so it's very difficult. Nowadays we are talking about the mechanical property, and we are analyzing the bone, and we are going to check how closely we going to get the materials. And thermal and electrical conductivity, yes, in our body also we have this type of terminology, electrical and thermal conductivity. Yes, we should take about this topic also. If sometimes some hot valves or some other devices, if electrical pulses are needed to conduct by one side to another side, means the designed valve should able to conduct the electrical conductivity. If it is giving a resistance, means it's very difficult. Difficult. Diffusion, yes. For the cell growth, we need the diffusion properties, and sometimes we need to restrict the diffusion properties like aluminum we are using, and the diffusion property may spoil the tissues, and they will produce aluminum oxides and other toxins. Okay, and water absorption, we have inside our body, we have water as well as blood and some hormones also, and it is very difficult to produce those composition. But body fluid we can produce. What about the hormones and other things? It's very difficult. They may be produced some other third party elements also. So we should take care about the water absorption and other properties. Biostability and biocompatibility. Biostability means under that biological condition, under a human body conditions or some other animals, if you're going to treat with deers or cows, you should study about their working level, and you have to check whether the materials have the stability to withstand that level and their body temperature, working condition, etc. Biocompatibility means it should able to getting inside, it should not disturb any other parts or any other living tissue. Okay, so these are all the things we should focus. And I'm talking about the Japanese scientist. That scientist name is Kukumbo. He is the only one who going to develop one small fluid, and that is called simulated body fluid. Kukumbo. So he only preparing that fluid which is actually close to our body fluids. Okay, then he started putting the materials. We are using stainless steel, titanium and alumina, etc., etc. So those material he started testing on that condition, he giving the results. And one of the scientists who is in CSR Sikri, he was the student, and he studied his PhD. I don't know whether it's PhD or postdoc from the Japanese scientist Kukumbo. Later that he got the job in CSR Sikri, and he was there. He's a North Indian only. I just forget his name. And 2014-15 also he succeed as cell development, cell growth on the bio implant. He developed, and he have shown so much of same images how the self growth was over there in the implant, and etc., etc. He was a successful scientist up to my knowledge in the biomaterial sector. You may want, you can just go and search their profile in the CSR Sikri Karakudi, and you will easily find out. I forget his name. That's really I forget. He's the best scientist. You can contact me. You can take internship also. He will give. He's a very nice guy. So general criteria for biomedical selection. So the mechanical and chemical properties, yes, the strength, elastic modulus, fatigue strength, because in your human body, sometimes we will work or sometimes we will sit ideally, sometimes we will run. So load is not a constant, it's always fluctuating. So you should know the fatigue strength. Wear resistance, if you need a knee, if you are putting replacement for knee replacement, you should know the wear resistance, and you know that how many times we are folding or we are relieving our knee. And corrosion resistant, just now only we have talk about the corrosion resistant, we should not produce any toxicity or any other third elements. Okay, biological effects and toxicity, allergic, etc., etc. And the final one is cost. It should be low cost. Okay, and the test condition, that simulated body fluid, and this is the simulated body fluid, and you can easily go to the internet and you can take the what is the composition of simulated body fluid. Okay, and the Kukumbo was the first one who introduced, and he is the best scientist. And problems are test bar biomaterials. So there is same things, and toxicity, sensation, neurotoxicity, immunotoxicity, etc. We have to check before you going to implement the material developed materials, biomaterials inside your body. Okay. So toxicity, I think no need of giving any much more examples or explanations for this word toxicity. And it's things which you are placing inside your body should be 100% free from toxicity. Toxicity is nothing but they're going to produce some third party element which is not good for our health. Okay, or which is not digested by our body. It may be give some negative things like allergic effect. Sometimes it may be kill your blood tissues or neuro, etc. Because based on that only we are having some classification neurotoxicity, tissue, immuno, etc. Biomaterials for applications, yes, most probably from the beginning onwards, we are telling skeleton system, joint, and dental implants, etc. Some commonly used biomaterials and well-known biomaterials up to your knowledge is stainless steel, titanium, alumina, and zirconia, etc. Okay, others also available. It's depend upon the applications. Okay, you cannot put alumina for the bone. It should be fit with the teeth only. And we know that what type of forces or stresses we going to produce in your teeth. According to that only, we are choosing that materials. Okay. And metallic biomaterials, that the topic we are missed in the beginning, and we are here right now. So knee or hip implants, dental implants, I told you. And sometimes if you want, you can put stainless steel teeth also, gold teeth also, and most probably because it will give some hard look. That's what we are going for zirconia materials. Okay, otherwise you can use it, no problem. Okay. Here we are seen about the thermal and electrical conductivity. Here you can see good electrical conductivity is the best reasons why we are using metallic biomaterials. And stainless steel categories like 316L, it's a purely biomaterials. Okay, asterix stainless steel, I think. And cobalt, chromium, molybdenum, CMM, and titanium materials is very common variant. But including titanium 6Al4 vanadium, nowadays we are using for commercially pure titanium because the titanium 6Al4 vanadium we have aluminum as well as vanadium content. And now only people found out there was some problem with stainless steel as well as Ti6Al4 vanadium. In stainless steel, if you see the chromium, okay, that chromium content is going to produce some allergic or toxicity with the human bodies and living tissues. So people are not going to use stainless steel hereafter. They're going to replace with titanium 6Al4 vanadium. But compared to stainless steel, titanium 6Al4 vanadium is good, but it's not that much good when compared with commercially pure titanium. Thing is, in Ti6Al4 vanadium, if you see aluminum and vanadium is available, again, they're going to produce some allergic effect or toxicity with the human bodies as well as the living organism. So people are find out commercial titanium is the best thing. The only disadvantage of the commercial titanium is they have less strength when compared to other stainless steel as well as Ti6Al4 vanadium alike. That's the thing. Actually, if commercial titanium having 300 MBA means Ti6Al4 vanadium have 3 times higher than that. Minimum, it may go up to 900 MBA strength. Okay, that is the reason. So ceramics, and you know that zirconia, which is placed in your teeth, is also a ceramic, and it's have microorganism resistant to microorganism. It's have a good resistant temperature, good resistant to temperature, pH changes. pH changes resistance means it have good corrosion resistance. Okay, that means during any pH changes, it won't make any other reactions, which is very safe. Okay, most probably pH changes will be occurred in the inside the body as well as in our mouth because 24/7 we have some liquids in the mouth. You know that, okay? So that also have some pH level. You just check it out. What is the pH of this one? So aluminum oxide, well known one, and their properties are given over here. can go through. Okay. Still now we have found out alumina is the best one. Zirconia recently figured out, but zirconia have less tensile strength, but I think good compressive strength they have. Another is the calcium phosphate, and this calcium phosphate is used as a self-setting bone cement. This is I think this is only one is existing. Other things are we are not going to use. Okay, assume that if your bone have 2-3 pieces, you have to use this calcium phosphate to join all these three. Okay, and some of the examples and some metallic example I have placed over here, and some non-metallic materials also you can place over here. How it's going to be over bone plate and joint replacement. Bone cement, how they are going to use, how they are going to fill it. Okay, those things. And tissue walls, and this thing is nothing but the blood clot filter. Outside we have one small skeletal layer, right? That is blood clot filter, and that also we will see how it's going to be work upcoming days. We have one small session with blood clot filter. Okay, and some of the metallic and non-metallic materials, and their shapes and size are also different. And this is the end for the biomedical biomaterials. So if you have any questions, you can raise. We will have a nice discussion. Okay. Yes, Sasan.
Sir,
Yeah.
in first year, there was a topic on biomedical polymers. We have made a presentation on that.
Okay.
Sir, there we have discussed about bones. That
Mm.
a PLLA material, PLLA full
Mm,
form,
mm,
poly and lactic acid,
mm, mm,
solid material at 15 degrees centigrade is manufactured for bones and sutures.
mm,
The small sutures which are used
mm,
in small surgeries, not
mm,
in very big surgeries, is also
mm,
used there.
mm, mm,
And only, sir, the material you have covered there is only was stainless
mm,
steel,
mm,
and
mm,
the new
mm,
one I
mm.
don't I don't learn till now the name. So the
Okay.
graph was there.
That's an internal material.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
So, sir,
Yeah.
if say, sir, I will see if it will suitable, I will
Mm.
share that PPT to you. I have I
No
and my
problem.
friend was made for that.
No, you can share it. You can share it.
Yes,
No problem. We will have a discussion on that PPT
yes,
also. No problem.
yes.
Okay. No problem. So I think my suggestion is, if you already studied about biomaterials and other things, we may go for higher end. But this is the first time you're going to study. So in the class, we have the topper and we have the average level, below average level students. So I want to maintain one scale. Such a way it should be cover or it should be feed enough for every theory. Okay. So no problem. So I just taken the well-known materials. Okay, stainless steel, titanium, zirconium, and the uh, titanium, stainless steel, zirconia, and one more also that I have forget. Okay, so those material only I have taken. So no problem. You have a little bit knowledge about biomaterials, right? That's enough for me. Who knows? Maybe in MTech you may go for biotechnology field. Okay, that time you should know the preliminary things. Okay, I want to give the awareness on the material side. So I have given, no problem. If you want to give, if you want to look for any other topics, you can give your suggestion. Once we finish the syllabus, we'll go for 1 or 2 classes or 1 or 2 hour. Okay, on that specific topic, no problem. In additionally, I going to take corrosion also. That is not included in your syllabus, but advanced materials and tools should contain corrosion. So I will take it. Don't say that questions will not come from corrosion, including corrosion. I will ask the question in the end semester. Okay. Our syllabus is not that much clear. Let it be. Let me go and download the attendance. So, see. Now I'm going to share the attendance with you guys. You can check your attendance. Where is that screen sharing? Now you can see your attendance. Okay. Is anybody left? Okay. So I think today's topic is over. If you want, we may see one more small topic if you want. Otherwise, we'll come for next class. Okay. So tomorrow, do you have any free hours? Morning 8:30 to 9:30.